So let us start today's things. So have seen many people, started writing a test cases. So that is fine. So once you are completing the test cases, you are going to send all the test cases to for a review, right? So they are the test cases which you have sent to your lead. So the lead have to explain each and every test cases what we have covered to the client and the management, or the business will be involved, business analyst will be involved over that. They are going to discuss what are the things we have covered. She is going to explain, the lead is going to explain each and every test cases. This is what we are going to do. So that is not simply on your the system. So they are going to sit in a big screen only, they are going to look at your test cases. So how the document you have to send. So the document should be, pakka, right? You have, when you are creating a test case document, then the test case document, the font size, alignment, everything you need to check. That is very, very important. So simply how you have to do, I mean, if you people are new to creating a document, simply I'm telling you, just select everything, right? Just if you click on this, it will going to select everything. Here you can go ahead and you can change whatever the font size you want. Suppose if you want the font size something like this, you can change. Maybe if you want to increase, you can increase. So this is the way you have to do that. So now we need to check all the alignment, everything is pakka or not, right? That's what we need to check over here. Right, so once everything is done, then what we need to do, we need to check the spell check. Always when you are sending this document to that lead, right, so you need to check the spell check, how you have to do that. So each and everything, how we have to do the spell check. So just click on a F7 in your keyboard. So it will ask you to, whatever the changes you want to. It will go to, it is going one by one. It is asking you to change which this is what you have written. This is what the original. So suggestion it is going to give you. So which one you want to select, you can select that and you can change that. So wherever you have written this one, this is what the original spell. Some mistakes. So what you need to do, you need to change all. Right. So the password, the spelling is this one. So now this is what a exact spell. Right. So now you need to see when you are writing the things, the typo error always will come. So you need to do these things. Finally, once you have completed the test case creation, so you can do that. So now field FIELDS. So now it is asking some of the suggestions. So now what you have written, this is a field, right? So now field, you can change all. So now the final thing is condition. This is only condition. So not other things. You can change. Suppose if you have written some other keyword, it is not in the dictionary, then it is going to change the different suggestions. So you can ignore that. Right? Okay, you can ignore that. Otherwise, you can change here something like this. Everything is done now. Right? So case ID. See now case ID we have written. So it is asking some suggestion. I don't want to change this thing. So what I can do, I can go with ignore all. Right. So this one, what it is. Actually, this is and. So change all. So this is the way we have to. This is should, I think, change all. Right. So this is the way we have to do that. Uppercase. If you want to change, you can change over here. Uppercase. So this is the way, right? So this is the way you have to do spell check. Control, yes, F7. F7 in the keyboard. So now this is the way you have to send the document. Before sending the document, this is the things you need to make sure. So the document should be pakka. When you are writing a test case, you have to be check this is the things as well. Now let us learn some of the new concept today. So is that clear? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, thank you. So now let's learn what is black box testing. So we are going to learn some of the different types of testing today. So we'll see types of testing. First, let us understand what is black box testing. So how many of you know what is black box testing? Why we call it as a black box testing?
No, black box testing is a testing in which we don't see the functionality, only the without going into deep function of that testing, we used to see the outer layer only.
Exactly. That is what, so exactly what we are checking the functionality, but we are not checking any backend code, what they have written. Right? So just blindly as per the user point of view, we are checking. If you go to that any Facebook, so suppose I'll open a Facebook. So now here your user is coming into this Facebook page. Now what happened? They are entering the username and password, right? And they clicking on a login button. It should navigate to the home page, right? So this is what user is doing. As from that, the tester, we have to do the same thing from the user point of view. Right. So first we need to enter that username. Yes, actually it is allowing to enter the username and password. Password also, it's allowing to enter the password. And I need to click on a login button. Yes, the login button is enabled. I could able to click the login button. So now after clicking the login button, it should navigate to the home page. Right. So as a user, they are not going to think about the coding. They are not going to worry about what are the logic behind this. So user expectation, it should navigate to the home page. That's it. So from the user point of view, as a tester need to check by entering username, password and clicking on a login button, it should navigate to home page. Right? Here we are not focusing, here we are focusing on the functionality. Right? We are not focusing on the coding. So what they have written a coding, how it is navigate to the home page. So what about the technology they have used? We are not sure about it. We are not going to worry about it. Right? This is what black box testing. Right? Black box testing means simply we are doing a testing from the user point of view without checking any code or without checking any logic behind the screen. This is what black box testing. So the same way if it is going for a white box testing. White box testing is done by the developer. We have seen, right, last session. So the white box testing is they are checking the source code. So they know that what the logic they have written. So they are checking the source code, how the code is working fine or what. That is white box testing. So they know that logic, they are doing a white box testing. As a tester, I'm not sure about the logic behind that screen. I'm checking the application, whether it is working or not from the user point of view. This is what a different over here in a black box and white box testing. Is that clear? So now there are different types of black box testing technique is there, right? So black box testing, most widely used types will cover over here. Okay, let's understand some of the majorly used things. Fine. So we have a functional testing is there and a non-functional testing is there. In functional testing, I'll go over here. Functional testing and non-functional testing. So what are the things majorly used in the industry? So just we'll focus on that. Some of the testing types. Okay. This testing types deals with the First, we'll understand what is the functional, right? So first we'll go for a functional testing. What is the functional testing means? So this type of testing, right, deals with the functional requirement, or you can call it as a functional specification of an application. Here different actions are, you can say different functions of the systems are being tested by providing them input and comparing the actual output with the expected output. For example, if you go to that Amazon, right? So if suppose if I am clicking here, so if I am clicking on it, it verifies that I just wanted to verify it if it is expand or what, and all the expected values are showing in the list or not. This is one of the functionality, right? So this is one of the functionality. So we'll understand few major types of functional testing as well, right? So now let us start from that smoke testing. So this is one of the functionality. The same way we have a lot of functionality is there in each and every application. Now we'll go for one by one testing. So let us understand what is smoke testing. So smoke testing is coming under the black box testing. Okay. So now what is smoke testing? So smoke testing means simply this type of testing is performed before the actual system testing is started. So first of all, to check the critical functionality. Critical functionalities are working fine in order to carry out the further testing. For example, so you have written 1,000 test cases, okay, or 100 test cases for system testing. Right? Now the coding is ready and going to deploy into the testing environment. Now before start executing all the test cases which you have written, first need to check build is stable or not. Right? First we need to check the build is stable or not for further testing. So they have deployed the code, right? So this is stable for further testing or not. So we'll perform major functionalities working or not. Right? Once the application is stable, then we perform further testing. So if you want to answer this question, what is smoke testing? How will be answering? Smoke testing to
Ma'am, sorry
check.
to interrupt you. Is that is a major functionality or basic functionality initial stage in smoke testing?
So such as basic functionality means major functionality. I mean, whatever the major functionality is there, it is working or not. That's what we need to check.
Acha.
First, we need to check the application is stable or not. So whatever the major functionality, just we are checking.
Okay.
Right? Once the code is deployed, then we are checking. Code is deployed to the stage environment or testing environment. We'll perform smoke testing.
Hello.
Yes.
In every sprint we do smoke testing.
Yes. Code into stage, or you can say testing environment. Right? We'll perform smoke testing.
Excuse me, ma'am. Is
Yes.
this smoke testing is tested at the user end environment or in our environment? Means before.
No. Initial stage of testing this one. So
Okay,
from
before
the testing
deploying.
environment, yes. Once before deploying into the production, just we are once deploying into the stage or testing environment, only will perform smoke testing.
Okay, ma'am.
So smoke testing is just we are checking that okay, we can start our further testing. So just we are checking that the code is stable or not. So this is what smoke testing. So we have another testing is there. So smoke testing clear, right? So initially they will be doing the smoke testing.
And who writes for test cases for this?
Yes, some major functionality will be written as some test cases for doing a smoke testing. Then we have to report, okay, these are the things is working fine, then we can start further testing.
Man, smoke testing will check only basic functionality, right?
No. First, we need to basic functionality means what? So, for an example, your
Basic functionalities means like logging pay, whether the application is working or not, basic things it will creating the customer or not, payment is done or not.
yeah, that's
That
what
payment
the
is
business wise. You can think business wise the main functionalities. So the login is a main functionality. User creating a user is a main functionality. So that is working. See, if the login is not working, then I can't able to go for a further testing. So maybe I'm stuck in the login page. Then how can I go inside, another functionalities? I'm stuck here itself. So these are coming into the major functionality, main functionality. So that we need to check. Okay, this is working fine, then we can go further.
Yeah.
So that's what we have to do. So if suppose we are not going in, I'm not adding any product. First, I am not going to check the payment. So first initial, functionality should work. Then only I need to go for the payment and all. Here in Amazon, right? So the same way. So first major functionalities of the initial stage. What are the from the business point of view? If it is working fine, then we can start our testing. So how many test cases we have written? We can go one by one. Right?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now let's move on to the next one. So next one will be what is sanity? So if suppose we have a change request, what is the change request means? So version 1 is already developed and released with some functionalities. Now client requests to add some more functionality. For example, you can take a Facebook page. So here we already released that login page, this home page. So now I have already tested this login functionality. Now the client request is add this forgotten password. Suppose here it is not that. Suppose the client requests to add this functionality. This is a change request. So now I am just wanted to, when I am going to perform sanity testing after changing this functionality, after the change request, or suppose I am saying like, this is a change request. One is change request or another one is if suppose I am raising a defect. Maybe the forgotten password, if I am clicking on the password, this forgotten password, it is not navigate to the expected page. Then maybe I am raising the defect. So they are fixing now. So the two things we can do sanity testing. Two things mean one is change request. If suppose the client is asking that new functionality to add, if that if they are completed the functionality, then initially I will do the sanity testing. Right after the coding is done, tester job is to test the application. Sanity testing is performed to ensure that code changes that are made are working as properly. It is type of testing. Right, so that is only for a specific functionality. Or you can go with the bug. Right, so if you are raising a defect, suppose if the forgotten password link is not navigate to the exact page. Right, if you are raising the defect. Now after fixing this defect, right, so we have tester job is to retest that. Fixing is correct or not. Whether the functionality is working fine or not. And check if there is no other issues due to the changes in the particular components. Right. So sanity testing is performed to ensure that code changes that are made are working as properly. And bug fixes is tested to check whether the functionality is working fine. Right. Check if there are no other issues due to changes in the particular components. So this is what your sanity testing. So smoke testing, what we have seen, initial stages. Initially, when they are releasing that version, then we are checking that code is stable or not. But sanity testing is performed to ensure that code changes that are made are working as properly, and bug fixed is tested to check whether the functionality is working fine. So this is what sanity testing. This is also initial stages only. But when we are doing a smoke testing, when we are doing a sanity testing, we have to understand. So sanity testing is performed to ensure that the code changes, right? That are made or working as properly.
Ma'am, every time after smoke testing only we will do sanity testing.
Not immediately. This is completely different time. This is completely different time. Suppose you can think in this way. Version 1, you are doing a login functionality now. Okay, this is the first page we are delivering. So now we are completed, we are sending. So once this code we are, when we are testing this page, first we are doing a smoke testing. We have done, we release the code. So now it is in production. It's working fine. So now again, the completely, we are, suppose if you are raising any defect, right? Suppose if their client is asking there some changes. So that time only you are doing a sanity testing, not next to the smoke testing. Smoke testing is completely in different time. Sanity testing is completely different time.
If clients ask only, we'll perform the sanity testing, right?
Client ask only, client change request, or
Request,
if you
yeah.
are raising any defect, after
Yeah, yeah,
fixing that also you need to. So
Yeah.
into different scenarios.
Okay.
Got it? So that are made working as properly. This is what we are going to check. And we have a bug fixed tester to check whether the functionality working fine, and check if there are no other issues due to changes in the particular component. Right, so this is what we are going to do. So completely different time. So smoke testing is completely different time. Sanity testing is completely different time. So maybe they will be asking, see, everything is in initial stage only. Smoke also initial stage, but that is different time. Sanity also initial stage, that is different time. So maybe you may face the question, what is the difference in smoke testing and sanity testing? Why they are asking
Smoke,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry to interrupt you. In smoke testing, we're not fixing any bugs. If we got any bug, then what we have to do?
Smoke testing?
We can.
Oh, yeah, I'm asking like if we got any bug in smoke testing, then we fix it or
So
not?
we can, we can tell that. So just we are checking that code is stable, right? Code is stable or what? So we can do the testing. If suppose I am facing lot of defects, it's not working properly. See, even in the initial stage of login also not able to do. Then I am telling that code is not proper. That's it. So they are going to fix again, then they will be going to deploy again.
Okay, ma'am.
See, you are installing any of the software. It's not working properly. What you will do? Uninstall and again you are trying to install, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, same way. So if installing the software, but it's not working, maybe some of the file missing, some of the things happening, so it's not working for that time. So that what you'll do, usually will be uninstall everything, then you will try to install. So that's what, basics smoke testing will perform. So application is working fine or not.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, got it. So now you may face the question, what is the difference? Why they are asking for a difference? Because both are doing in a initial stage only, but a different scenario. That you need to understand. So this is smoke testing and sanity testing. Then integration testing. Integration already we have seen. How many of you having a doubt in integration testing? We have seen last sessions with the good example. To check that two or more modules.
Two interrelated.
Exactly. Two modules interrelated and interdependency. Interdependency is working as per the specification. So this is what we are going to check, right? So to check that two or more modules, 2 or 3 modules, interrelated and interdependency is working as per the specification. So what are the examples we have seen?
Gmail.
Yes, exactly. So we have seen that Gmail. And we have seen that banking application as well, right?
Yeah.
So integration, you are clear. Anyone wants more explanation in integration testing? So you can always go with example. Smoke testing and sanity testing, whatever it is, if you are learning, then you need to understand with the example. So then only if you are going into that interview as well, you can able to explain without any interruption, without stuck. You can easily explain. So just go with the example. So when you are learning it also, you can just go to take some example. Then you can practice. So with stuck with only one example, that is more than enough. Okay. So I hope you are recording and practicing. How many of you doing that? How many of you recording this code and you are practicing? No one. No one recording this. So when you are recording and if you are practicing, it will be very helpful for you because you are listening your voice. Then you can able to change that. Okay, we have to tell in different way. So you could able to understand what I am telling. So directly sitting into that interview and making some mistakes. Instead of that, what you have to do? You can practice yourself. Just record the audio and listen. Right, so then you could able to understand. You can able to, make change. Whatever the changes we need, you can able to do that. So fine. So now what you have to do? What the next thing is, we can learn regression. So what is regression testing? This is one of the
checking the existing functionality.
Checking the existing functionality. Super. Next. Any others?
Previously tested program, you will check that if the changes are made and to do integration.
Okay, fine, super. Next.
As per me, regression testing is like when we test and report the bug, and when the bug is fixed and send it back to tester, they do a complete test case testing so that there is nothing missing, or to ensure that everything is fixed. All the tests suite they run. So that is called regression testing.
Okay. Okay, fine. Any other? Okay, so now let's understand. Okay, let's understand the regression testing. This is one of the type of testing. So this is very, very important in all the, you go for the manual testing interview, this question always comes. Why regression testing is very important? So now
Because
here,
every company will testing regression testing only.
okay, so now we are developing developing an application with some functionality as per the requirement. Created that, the first build, right? First build, maybe we can say phase 1, right? So phase 1, as a tester, you have written a test cases, right? You have created a test cases, maybe 1,000 test cases. So once the code is done, tester has to perform testing with 1,000 test cases to ensure that the application works correctly, right? So the client is, okay with the first build. So everything is done. The client is okay with that, right? So the client, then we are deploying in the code to the testing production environment. So now that is live now. It's working fine. So the client okay with that, but he wants some extra features. Right? So what are the extra features? So you can think same example again. So now already we have delivered the first phase with the login button, right? So we are not added any forgotten password. So now the client is asking, please add the forgotten password as well. So this is new functionality now, right? So now you are going to, the development team will going to develop this code, right? Those features, and then in the same existing application only. So the application already delivered. So the existing applications, we are adding a new features. So, but addition of the new code to the existing build, what we have to do? So now here in that forgotten password, I have written some more test cases as well. Maybe I'm just want to check that whether it is link or it is navigate to the exact page, and user can able to change the password. So some of the things I'll be written. So maybe I have written 100 test cases. That is for new functionality, right? Hence you write the 100 test cases for new functionality. Now we need to check, right? So the new functionality and existing functionality also, it's not going to affect the existing functionality. So we are checking that new functionality and existing functionality works together, right? So now along with the 100 new test cases, I just wanted to execute 1,000 test cases as well, that is existing test cases, to ensure that the application is working fine or not. New functionality and existing functionality works together. This is how, typical regression testing scenario works. So now maybe, if you've seen WhatsApp, right? Always everyone using a WhatsApp. So almost, 3 to 6 months, new features are coming into the WhatsApp as well. So you are, you are going to update as per the new version. Not only that WhatsApp, so even any application, if you go, a lot of changes are coming as per the new technology. They are adding a new functionalities as well, so that they are updating with the new version. So what happened actually in real time? Maybe the first phase they have written 1,000 test cases. Next coming into the new feature, right? So this is maybe phase 2. So phase 2, we have already written 100 test cases, for example. Right, so here already we have 1,000 test cases. I want to check as a tester, I need to check these test cases as well and these test cases when going to deploy and when going to deliver the phase 2. I need to execute as a tester, we need to execute 1,000 test cases and 100 test cases as well. So if you're coming into the new feature again, phase 3. Phase 3 already I have written 100 test cases maybe again. So this time when the code is going to deliver to the productions, how many test cases I want to execute? This as well, this as well. So this is what most of the companies, separate team will be there for running a regression suite. How many of you heard it? Yeah, Neha, go ahead. Any questions?
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I was asking, like, the regression testing is done only if the new feature is added, or like bug fixes will also, if bug fixes is also done, then also we need to do a regression testing.
Yes, that time also will do.
In both the cases.
Yeah, in both the cases.
Okay.
Ma'am, that is retesting,
Actually,
I think so, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you that. And coming into the retesting as well. First, we'll understand regression testing. So regression testing is new feature and existing feature. See, if you, I'll come to the retesting as well. First, you'll understand the regression part. Okay. So now, so this is the way we'll go with it. So we have a separate team is there. In some time, some companies, they'll be having a separate team for always. They have to run regression suite. Right. So actually, now suppose you take this login functionality again. If I am fixing that, if I am having, as per the Neha said, now I am raising a defect for this one. Okay. After fixing that, so what I need to do related to this functionality, maybe login or maybe create new account. In this page, how many functionalities are related to this functionality only? I'll be checking over here, not all the functionalities. Not all the functionality I'm going to check. So that is what, regression and regression of, after fixing the bug, that is different. And a regression of after releasing the new phase. Right. So we are going to, validate. We have to select the test cases. In regression part, we need to select some of the test cases related to the bug fix. What is the interrelated is there. So maybe if I am fixing that forget button, I need to check that, login also working or not. Because here, same page, maybe it is the code is, if it is not working or if it is something, misaligned, then we need to check over that. This is as well, it is working or not. So when we need to understand when to perform regression testing. So regression testing should be performed every time changes are made to the system and the code is modified. Suppose adding a new feature or bug fixes and performance improvement. Performance means suppose we can say if a new feature or new functionality means if suppose the same instance you can take, same example you can take. Right, with the login functionality already we have done. Along with that, user asking that new functionality. Right, maybe you can say login using that this one. So maybe they have added login with the Facebook, login with that Instagram, login with the Google. So some more options are there, right? So now coming. So maybe the client is asking, I just wanted to log in with the same login functionality. I want to add login with the Google as well. Right, so maybe you may hear about it, login with Google, login with the Apple, right? So some more functionality the client is asking. So that is a new changes. So that is new features. So that time we are doing a regression part. So that is recommend change. Suppose they are asking like, I don't want to add that Google with the, so already I have added login with the Google. Maybe the client is asking, first just remove it. I don't want the functionality. That is also recommend change. So that now if I am removing the functionality also, I need to do the regression testing. Right, after every such changes, we need to do regression. Any code is, all the code, remaining code is working fine or not. So when the defects are fixed. Right, so maybe the tester report the broken login button. So once the developer fixes the bug, the login button is tested for expected result. Right, testers also perform for other functionality related to the login button. Suppose, another way like configuration changes. Configuration means, for example, update the database. Now everywhere the update database is happening. Update the database means to the cloud. So they migrated the code into cloud. So now we have to perform complete regression testing. So if they are changing the code into cloud, so I need to perform regression testing. So in different way, we'll do the regression testing. So you can tell the same thing in interview as well. So regression testing is new feature or functionality if they are added, we perform a regression testing. Right? The recommend changes we need to do that. If it is added the functionality or remove the functionality also, we need to do the regression. Then when the defects are fixed also, we need to do the regression. When there are any environment or configuration changes also, we need to perform regression testing. Is that clear in regression part?
Ma'am, if the client is asking to remove the forgotten password in Facebook page, that is also that time we do regression testing only.
Yes, we have to do regression. Because if they are removing the code,
we are not adding
here
anything, right?
Yeah, but I need to check login is working or not. If suppose while removing the code, maybe this is also affected, right? I'm not sure about it.
Yes, yes.
So I need to check that.
Yes.
So to check the new functionality and existing working as per the working together. As per the specification. So check the new functionality and existing functionality working together as per the specification. That's what we are going to do regression testing. See, the next sessions when you are coming, I hope you people have to record everything. So we have a 2-day break is there. So you can take your time and you have to do that. So now we'll complete the retesting as well. So what is retesting? So retesting means suppose I am raising a defect. So maybe I'm saying like, the login button is not working. So maybe the forgotten password. If I'm clicking on that, it is not navigate to the exact expected page. So what I'll do? So I'm just going to raise a defect. Okay, this is what my expectation, but it is happening. Behavior is something like this. So I'm raising a defect. So after fixing that, I just wanted to do retesting. So retesting, 1 second. Okay, so now retesting is running the previously failed test cases. Once it is fixed only, I need to do retesting. Already I have tested. When I am testing this functionality, I am facing the defect. So now after fixing that, I am doing retesting. Retest the same functionality. Previously, this is failed test cases. Again, on the after fixing that, verify whether the defect posted, earlier or fixed or not. So with that same, data, we need to same flow, we need to do the testing. It's the same test cases only. I'm not writing again the test cases. Already I've written a test cases, that test case is failed. So now I'm doing the same test case again. I'm doing a retesting after fixing the bug. So now retesting is running the previously failed test cases. Right? Again, we have to do on the new build or new, after fixing. Maybe you can say again on the fixing to verify whether the defects posted or fixed or not.
7654
So retesting is running the previously failed test cases after fixing the defect. So that is what, here also you may face the question. What is regression testing? What is the retesting? Regression testing is different. Retesting is we are going to focus on the particular test cases only, whatever the test case we failed. Right, so we are going to focus. Suppose what I have raised before, I just raised the defect for the forget button password, forget and password. Link is not working. That is what my defect. So now I just going to, after fixing that, just I am going over here and I just wanted to validate whether it is working or not. So now the developer is saying this is working. We are fixed the defect. Now I just wanted to retest that functionality, same test cases. Regression means new functionality and existing functionality works together. That's what regression. Retesting is completely with the same test cases only. Is that clear? Regression retesting, can you able to understand that difference?
Ma'am, after the retesting only we will do regression testing.
I told you that regression testing where we are doing, when we are doing different scenarios. So if the change request happen, we are doing a regression testing. When the defects is fixed, also we are doing a regression testing. Suppose here after that, retesting, then maybe the same functionality if you go, maybe I'm raising a defect. So I need to cross verify along with some, functionality only. I'm not going to go with the remaining every functionality. I'm just going to focus here on the functionality. Maybe after fixing that, I need to check login as well, working or not, and create new link is working or not. Right? This is what we are going to. So after retesting.
Okay.
Some test cases, not some functionality only we are going to test, not others. Not all the regression we are not going to do. Regression should we are going to define, like, what are the test cases we can able to test. So what test cases we can able to test in the particular functionality. So we have to select the test cases. Right, so we have to select the test cases. We are not going to completely all the test cases we are not going to run. First, we need to select the test cases. Right, you want to test the entire test suite. Right, selection of the test cases will depends on the module where there is a change request or where there is a bug fixes. Right, so based on that, you have to pick some test cases and you need to validate.